and welcome to Awaken Your Human Design. My name is Moni. This is Danny, and today we are continuing our Godheads in Human Design series. We're going to be talking about Vishnu and the Keepers of the Wheel, and they're representing the I Ching Trigram of Lake. So that'll be part 2 when we go through the specific gates. So part 1 will be going through the Godheads.
Well, and I can't wait to hear more about what these lakes are all about, Moni. So,
Yeah, it's about like joyousness and abundance. So I think it's going to be a really fun one and a really good vibe.
well, good, because Vishnu's mine. I'm born on this one.
Yeah, you are.
Mhm.
And if you'd like to book a reading with either Danny or myself, check out the QR code above, or I got the link down in the description box below. And you can use code AWAKEN and you can save 10%. We can talk about your chart, have some fun, help you learn about yourself and any of those pesky questions you've been wondering about in your design. Also, if you've been getting a lot out of our channel and you'd like to help support us and encourage us to keep doing what we're doing, check out the QR code above. It's a link to our donation page. I also have that down in the description box below. And thank you so much for donating, for booking readings, for hanging out with us, liking, subscribing, asking questions. We love having you, and let's get into it.
Mm.
So here we have our most beautiful image of the human design mandala wheel with the Godheads. I always like this image, so I like to start with it. So when we started this series back in May, we were over here in the bottom left in this green area with the Godhead of Maya. So we've gone through the quarter of civilization, the quarter of duality, and now we are halfway through the quarter of mutation in this blue area, and we're going to be hitting up Vishnu and the Keepers of the Wheel in this episode.
Mm. Two more after this.
Yeah. So these are our representatives of these 16 archetypal themes that we will be exploring.
And there's a more mystical aspect to that too, just to as a point of record for the history books. This is also where the 16 crystal bundles that are providing this particular planet with its incarnation index in the first place there are 16 of them. I don't know how they're placed around. It was only said that they are, in our atmosphere and they are here part of our incarnation context. That's why he went through this to name them. And it also fits in a lot to what happens with rogue bundles, which again is a totally different episode, but uh, you needed to add that in in case anyone was, for record keeping purposes.
Yeah, I'll put a rogue bundles on a future episode deep dive.
Mm.
So, continuing on, we've gone through this chart in great deal in another episode, so check that one out. I'll link it in post for afters. But we'll do a little mini breakdown of this so you can kind of understand why these little lines are around the human design mandala wheel. So, we start off with the yin yang. I'm sure most people have seen this, right? You have the yin, which is the feminine, it is magnetic, it's represented here with the dark, and then you have the yang, which is the masculine, the electric, and it's represented with the white. And so you see with the yin yang, you have a little bit of lightness in the dark and a little bit of darkness within the light. And so this is this idea of the biverse that Ra talks about, is you have this yin and this yang as this base foundation that we then extrapolate out to create first the 4 base pairs and then ultimately the 8 trigrams of the I Ching: the earth, mountain, water, wind, thunder, fire, lake, and heaven. And then you extrapolate those even farther and you get all 64 gates within human design, and thus all the archetypes of human expression go back to this base yin yang.
Yeah, that's a lot actually especially when you go all the way around the wheel. I love watching the programming agency work. Just the yin and the yang, and the fact that we're in a biverse means a great deal. I also took a little while, anyone who's looking, the top line is when you're looking at a hexagram, it would be the bottom line of the hexagram. I've always noticed that threw me off the first time. But I like how this lays out. The third line gives us the lake or the heaven or the water, and the fourth line gives us the Godhead.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
and that's the mutative changing zone inside that hexagram, anyways. The
Yeah.
three and the four.
Yeah, like Danny's saying, what starts up off here with this yin and this yang, this is actually the foundation. So anytime you're looking either at the trigram with the 3 lines or the hexagram with the 6 lines, they build from the bottom up is the important thing to know about that.
Yeah, yeah,
Mosey?
nosy.
So here we have the very complex view of the entirety of the body graph wheel with all the broken and unbroken lines starting from your base yin yang to the 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 lines of the hexagram. So this is kind of what we're going to be breaking down today and what we've been doing throughout this whole series. So first off, we go here to this fourth line so you can see our Godheads. So this is what we've been doing through this series is these Godheads, which is kind of a heavy word. For what it really is just like the third lines of the I Ching. They're being externalized by these kinds of figureheads to kind of break it down a little bit so we can understand it. So like Danny was saying, today we're going to be going through lake. So we'll go through the lake trigram and then how Vishnu and the keepers of the wheel externalize the lake trigram. So if you know someone who's like a fourth line your friend and it's like the opportunist and they're here to externalize what they have within inside of them and share it with their friends and their network, you can kind of think of it like that. Like that fourth line is here to externalize the energy of the trigram below it.
And boy, did they do that. No, it's funny that it wasn't to universalize it. No, it's not like there weren't enough godheads to go pick from in mythology. It's because the fourth line, the externalizing, that's what it is. The externalization of the incarnation index gave each one of us us. We are its externalization in that mechanical sense.
Absolutely.
It's just amazing to just ponder. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, once you get past the, oh, there's a lot happening and it looks really confusing. If you can get past the overwhelm and then kind of just break it down into smaller pieces, it actually comes together in a very logical and beautiful way. So thanks for going through this with me.
Mm, you bet. Mosey.
Mosey on. So here we have the quarter of mutation. This is the quarter that we are currently in. And the quarter of mutation is about mutation moving through the totality. All mutation comes into the world, program initiates the mutation, and the change in the information frequency, it takes time for the information to get here. So there's always it's coming in to change something, to shift it and mutate it, and it kind of takes time to settle its way through. And this is purpose fulfilled through transformation. And the mystical theme is accepting death.
And acceptance, generally speaking. Yeah, this transformative energy mutation, you can swap out here very much, and just generally, you can swap out the word mutation for consciousness. Don't do it literally in sentences. You know, you're saying mutation when we're talking about the mutative pulse and consciousness when we're talking about what we're thinking, but they still, one begets the other. That's the thing. The consciousness field is the individual mutative way, and this whole quarter is filled with lots of individual gates. It starts out with a lot of it. And just like civilization did. So I can't wait to go through this. My December 21st birthday in gate 10, Vishnu, I only ever learned a little bit about Vishnu. So I'm going to learn a lot more now because you're going to read a bunch of stuff, aren't you?
I'm going to give a little bit of background on Vishnu. I sure am.
Bam. All
I
right.
am.
I don't know why I didn't get into it more, but so you know the breakdown of this wheel is very logical. The left-hand triangle of this pie, this is a quarter of a pie, and the left-hand half of that quarter is where we're going through to get all the way through to gate 19.
Yep. So continuing on that adventure. So first we're going to talk about Sirius, which is the base pair for the quarter of mutation. And so Sirius is the brightest star in the sky, part of the Canis Major constellation. It's the dog star. So it's next to Orion. It's like Orion's hunting dog. And so Sirius is the one I highlighted here with the bright purple star. This is brilliance, mystery, and spiritual significance across cultures, and it takes us into the unknown and catalyzing shifts, redefining what it means to be human. And it's a powerful close to the cycle of the quarter of mutation. As a cosmic catalyst, Sirius embodies the force of evolution, encouraging a leap beyond the known. Sirius is the star that burns the brightest, urging humanity to evolve, adapt, and embrace the mystery of what's next, closing the mandala's wheel with a promise of renewal.
The darkest before the dawn. It's just so fitting because the dawn starts with gate 13 as we reawaken again and tell the story. Notice we reawaken at gate 13 through the activity of recounting the story, the word. That's the word. It's sort of incredible. Um, but going up to it, up to gate 19. So Sirius, let me get this straight. So Sirius, well, that's just the name for the whole quarter. That's the
That's
double
the
gang
base pair for the
base
entire
pair
quarter
for the
of
entire quarter.
mutation. Yeah,
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
cool. Mosey?
Hmm.
So now we've cut the pie chart down a little bit more and we're going to focus on this lake trigram. So lake is the fourth line, or lake is abundant energy teeming with life. It's this very joyous energy. You can think of like a lake with a koi pond and the fish and the fountains and this very like abundant, joyous kind of vibe is what lake is about. And so the fourth line externalizes the lake trigram, and that's represented by Vishnu and the Keepers of the Wheel, which will be the next two slides.
Mm. Yep. I don't have much to say here. It's a pretty picture without getting technical. So
Fantastic. So here we
I have one
have,
thing to say there. I do
okay,
have one thing to say there,
okay.
please. I just realized, just and it's a big picture thing. Notice the movement from 10 to 19. I'll just read them off. 10, 58, 38, 54, 61, 60, 41, 19. This is a hell of a process. This says my behavior goes through joy and struggle. It's driven. It's through the pressure box on both ends. It turns into more pressure to just dream of something, desire, and then finally take all that juice and more pressure still. Approach and bring yourself and take the risk. This is like the birth, death, rebirth process sort of starting up here in a way. Take the risk, take the leap, move in. That's what this quarter is saying. It's very active, and it does burn brightest before the dawn if you think about it. This is the reawakening section before 13.
Very good.
Mm.
So here we have Vishnu. Vishnu is the yang externalization of the lake trigram, and he represents gates 10, 58, 38, and 54. Vishnu is the Hindu god of preservation, protection, and balance in the universe. In the Hindu trinity, the Trimurti, you have Brahma, the creator, and Shiva, the destroyer. Vishnu's role is maintaining cosmic order, the Dharma, ensuring the universe functions harmoniously. He is often depicted as a serene, blue skinned figure, symbolizing his transcendence and his connection to both the divine and earthly realms. Vishnu's role is to safeguard life and restore balance whenever chaos threatens the order of the cosmos. Vishnu's most famous avatars, incarnations, include Rama and Krishna, who descend to Earth during times of crisis to restore balance and defeat forces of evil. These avatars highlight Vishnu's compassionate and protective nature, embodying joyful perseverance and righteous struggle. Overflowing self This is overflowing self-sustaining force, both nurturing and testing, inviting growth through experience and the pursuit of higher purpose. Vishnu calls us to engage fully with life, to embrace both the fight and the joy in the journey, and to trust that through each challenge we are forging something greater.
Starting at gate 10 for a process to simply start at gate 10 and contain, 8 gates technically, but 4 gates here. Uh, Gate 10 is the in the awakening process as it relates to this what we call a mystical circuit that goes from 19 all the way up to 20. It circles through the ego and it goes winds through the tribe and it turns back into ourselves. Gate 10 is the process that which turns that into the actual manifestation of it through behavior, and the behavior that demonstrates I love myself because my behavior demonstrates it. I'm smiling. That's my behavior right now, or whatever. It's I love me or not, or a version of, or doubt or not. And to start at gate 10 is to say the behavior becomes the way of actually all the things that you were reading, this calm, cool, collected nature. It's so this is the one section of this Godhead series that guarantees right action within behavior as a possibility. This is where right action within behavior is a possibility. And these gates are amazing because they say my behavior's got to kick butt and be cool, and we got to work for it, struggle, and we're driven to get there. I mean, this is like cake party time, it's for a pack of kids. This says cake party time for a pack of kids. What's my behavior? We're excited, 58, right? We're working for it. We gotta work together, and we're gonna make it happen grand and big, and we're gonna rise up that cake party ladder. to be the best one ever type thing. Yeah.
And it also makes sense because gate 10, when we hit that in the wheel, that's the winter solstice, and gate 58 is Christmas. So,
Oh
like, it
my
is,
God. Yes.
yeah, it's joy, it's party, it's celebration.
The joyous, of course, the first line of 58. And so this whole process to me, and okay, so this is the double, let's make sure I got this right. So this is the double yang process, not because of the first two lines, because they're through the whole quarter. It's because of the fourth line gave us Vishnu, and the fourth line is yang instead of yin. And the third line gave us lake. And when that changes, okay, all right.
Yeah, it's fun when you start to understand how the trigrams and then the hexagrams, how they build upon each other. It's really neat. I
I knew
also,
nothing before you started. Remember, I learned on your very first episode. I'm like, what is this thing? What is this thing?
and I
I'm
couldn't help
learning
but be
now.
curious. As soon as I saw that hexagram chart, my whole brain, it was like that scene from A Beautiful Mind where it's like, what is happening? I need
Mm,
to understand this.
yeah, I can see that.
Right. I really like this idea of, so like we are in this quarter of mutation, this transformation time before the new year, the human design new year. And it's kind of interesting. This idea of these figures deeply connected to time as a continuous wheel. So, especially the one after this, the keepers of the wheel, but the way that Vishnu is that preparation for the keepers of the wheel kind of is tingling me here a little bit, like this
Mm,
wheel of life that's constantly turning and renewing itself. And so, like Vishnu as the figurehead here, the role is to protect and guide the flow of these cycles, ensuring that natural order and divine rhythm of existence are intact. So it's like it's kind of interesting at the end
oh,
of this cyclical process. It's like Vishnu's like, hey, let me safeguard this. Let me make sure it's all cool for then the next one, the end of this quarter of mutation transformation with the keepers of the wheel, which are then in a balance of two yang, two yin, which we'll get to on the next page. So it's kind of neat.
as below, same as above, and vice versa. The keeper of that, what was it? What was the exact words? The balance in this order of a rhythm that was good. What could you?
The role is to protect and guide the flow of these cycles, ensuring that the natural order and divine rhythms of existence remain intact.
Right. So that sounds like as behavior is below, the behavior of the universe above is also so, right?
On earth as it is in heaven.
Yeah, and vice versa. That's how it's supposed to be because basically the behavior of the universe is keeping that rhythm in place. Go figure rhythm would run into gate 15, which would be the opposition of gate 10 in the same incarnation cross.
Yeah,
So
it's like
it's a
leading with
powerful
the,
place.
yeah, I
Go
was
ahead.
going to say like leading with the 10 as opposed to the opposition of 15. It's like leading with like order and
Yeah.
empowerment and like correct behavior.
And whereas when we led with 15 in that quarter, we were all civilizationed up, getting to work. You know what I mean?
Busy,
Making
busy.
things. Yep.
Awesome. Ready to mosey?
Yep.
So here we have the keepers of the wheel, and this is the yin externalization of the lake trigram. So the keepers of the wheel are a group of spiritual entities or archetypes who are often associated with the guardianship of the cycles of life, death, and rebirth. These figures are deeply connected to the understanding of time as a continuous wheel, constantly turning and renewing itself. Their role is to protect and guide the flow of these cycles, ensuring that the natural order and divine rhythms of existence remain intact. As the guardians of this process, ensuring that the transitions between these stages are aligned with cosmic law and that life continues to evolve harmoniously. The sacred cycles of existence, unseen currents that guide humanity through endings, beginnings, and the quiet forces of fate. Embodying the guardianship of life's rhythms, the liminal spaces between what was and what is to come, and the wisdom that emerges when we trust the unfolding of the great cosmic design. The keepers of the wheel call us to honor the turning of life's great wheel, to listen to the quiet whispers of destiny, and to embrace the spaces of waiting and becoming as essential parts of creation itself. And the keepers of the wheel represents gates 61, 60, 41, and 19.
Well, it's a nice carry forward after where we just were. Um, So the two pressures lead us into the root, which is all pressure, and it stays there through this process. So basically, the first process, Vishnu was there to keep a calm and an order, I guess, as some kind of platform for this to take flight, because this is the right here is the awakening zone into gate 13. So the mystery must get solved. And because we can't know everything, we must accept some of that stuff, acceptance. And who the heck cares? Because there's so much stuff to fantasize about and hunger for that, like, why are we quibbling over things? Just wait a second, a new mystery will show right up. I mean, that's what's going on here. It's being fed an endless amount of, of this discovery pressure is right here before 41 with a job to like, A, I'm a new year in China, the Chinese New Year, and B, I'm the start code on that, start some kind of a spark for 13 to sort of wake up, and look at all this tribal stuff that, when we get to 19. So 41 basically empowers the movement of the approach. And then what you've got Vishnu, which keeps the order, and the keeper of the keys, which, like the keeper in the Matrix, walks carefully but walks under pressure. That cat was never not under pressure. He had the keys. Actually, he was never not under pressure because everyone was looking for him at all times because he was the key guy, right? So he like never had a day off. There were no day offs. He's always looking over his shoulder, going into the next door, and yeah, right. Well, that's sort of describes the 61 to 19 process. Pressure, pressure.
Yeah, I
Mm.
like Vishnu as like Vishnu's role is to safeguard life and restore balance whenever chaos threatens the order of the cosmos. It's like that preparation for then like the keepers of the wheel to protect and guide the flow of these cycles, ensuring natural order and divine rhythms of existence remain intact. Like that pairing within this quarter of mutation is neat.
It's a big deal. That's actually more than I ever would have thought. The cosmos, keeping order in the cosmos, and then the keeper of the keys, the wheel to make sure they have the key that keeps everything in order moving forward, basically, is what you're saying. That's a lot. Cosmic law and guardianship. Yeah, what do you say about all that? Except this is really cool. And you know what? It makes sense. We have our own keepers of the wheel right here on Earth. And then we have our own keepers of the wheel right inside of families. And then we have our own keepers of the wheels inside of the larger groups and the planet itself amongst humanity.
Yeah.
People are here trying to keep these cycles in order and certain things. So we have our own cosmic journey right here on the microcosm.
Yeah, one of the things that's really cool here too is if you look down at the four lines at the bottom of the page, it's yang yang and yin yin. It's just like a very nice balance. It's this like natural glue that's like holding everything together. So it's neat that as we're ending this human design wheel before we're going into the new one, like that's the foundation of it is this glue to hold the end of the wheel together as it transitions into the next cycle.
That's some heavy lifting right there.
Yeah, a little bit.
I feel pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me drop this down if I find my cursor. So yeah, that was our continuation of the Keepers of the Wheel series.
Oh, that's right. We come up, we say some stuff, and then we go back and
Yeah,
do
and we'll
more.
go back in for part two. So you have any final thoughts about Vishnu and the Keepers of the Wheel?
Seems like an incredibly mystical place. That mystical circuitry fountains out through gate 10 in order to come into reality and be something, to actually be and take form in gate 20 in the now. And that's where it's sort of busting out of that. The whole thing feels like a mystical process.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would kind of have to be like
Uh,
the end of this
yeah.
cycle before the new one, the
How do you
quarter of
measure that?
mutation.
Right. How does someone measure that when they're balancing their checkbook, type thing? How does you, right? Where's the mean? It's like, it doesn't put food on the table. It's very
Esoteric.
supposedly it doesn't. What do I know? Right? Um, I just find it a mystical place. I'm glad that my birthday's on that day. When I first saw Vishnu, I was like, is Vishnu a chick? I thought to myself, the first thing I thought, as goofy as that is. I wasn't also pleased, but then I looked into it more, and now with all of this, this is like a wicked sacred place, fitting up Christmas and all that,
Hmm.
starting up everything, and it goes right into a bunch of new, it's all New Year stuff, right? So burn bright here. It's asking you to burn bright, gain those brightness calories. I like the dark and the white, the black and the white of the yin yang colors, that shows we got two things going on here.
Hmm.
This is another two thing dealio. On this side, we're going to burn bright, collect all them photons, prepare to sort of hibernate and go in and pull back up on gate 13. It's still going to be cold out, technically.
Yeah, I mean it's very appropriate for winter of like it's the darkest time of the year and the message is burn bright and like take your hibernation and do something cool with it. Like
Right, right,
cocoon, transform, mutation, like as
right.
hard as winter can be and as rough as it can knock you out, there's a part of me that does enjoy the darkness and getting to like chill and study and learn some things without it being like daylight busy, busy, busy.
Yeah, and get to a point where we start to learn to almost feel sorry for the poor not self having had to float a boat with no stars to guide it in the night sky. You know,
Mhm.
that was a great conversation. We'll have to bring that up one day. Can we convince our audience to reach a point where they're actually, have pity on the poor, busy, anxious? How many pills is that thing on, proverbially, in its little imaginary place, right? It's
With
it's
the
on
not
very
self?
the not self. It's in a bad place. This says I put the not self back out in order, or I put the true self back in order. That's what this rebirth says. My behavior, that's number one. Our roles come from gate 10. So every time you read your profile, "Hey, I'm a 3-5, I'm a this, I'm a that." Those are gate 10 designations specifically. That's the like prime starter of our consciousness program as it relates to the form. And so when you start there and you move through joy and 38 struggle, man, people that find the right joy, they love that struggle. Their whole life, they almost forget to die. What's he doing? He's still pounding them thing in the place. His struggle was his thing. He couldn't help it, or she, or whatever. And moving through that whole process into the pressure, the mystery is like where you almost get to take a break and say, "Oh my God, what might there be?" It's like the infamous statement on the Star Trek Enterprise: "What might there be out there in our 5-year mission or whatever it was?" If anyone remembers any of that, and because they didn't know what they would run into, it's like the complete unknown. And then, hey, you know what? We'll deal with it through fantasy. We'll deal through the practical matter of approach. We'll deal through that through this acceptance process. It's fine. You'll see. You'll see. We'll walk right into this, and then we'll deal with that as the keeper of the secrets gets handed off the keys by the keeper of the keys and the wheel. I mean, that's what the story says.
It's like a relay race. They're passing along
Yeah.
the keys and the stories and like, okay, your turn. Go the next lap.
Well, 13 is the keeper of the truth. It's technically. So what if there's propaganda in there? It's like whatever we're next gonna have kept, got kept through 13.
Keeper
So
of the stories, yeah.
it's our stories, it's our truth, it's what our prodigal son comes back to tell us. So the keeper of the story is handed the keys and the wheel to unlock it all. That's actually pretty important stuff. Does this get right into astrology and stuff like that? Or is this just, or are we sort of mutatively synthesizing this here?
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know?
so astrology is incorporated within design as kind of like the base map. And so I would imagine there's some overlap with like astrology can go into like the degrees and there's
Yeah.
probably some overlap there, but I think they kind of like bifurcate and go different directions where like astrology is then going to go into like
I
geometry
think we're
and those
synthesizing
things.
something new outside of
Yeah.
astrology and the Brahmins and the various things, and it's all good, doesn't matter, but I'm pretty sure we just synthesized something new as it relates to where this handoff is happening. That's an energetic place. Wherever that is in the wheel and however that gets measured in the cosmos, maybe somebody knows the formulas. I don't. That would equate to where the way lines are on the planet. I don't know. It's worth looking into because this seems like an important convergence here. End into beginning, 64 and 63, before and after completion. All ends are new beginnings. Um,
And was
And
it
that,
birth
yeah, and
like
that's
death
before,
requires strength for
yes,
the passage through?
that's 64, and the one that's before the 64, 63 is all new beginnings, all new ends are beginnings.
Mm-hmm.
Are you looking?
Of course I'm looking. In the spirit
That's the
in the
one.
spiral of life, all ends are beginnings. Gate
Yep,
63.
the 63. Yeah. So, uh, there's way lines underneath this thing. The pyramids line up here or something. I mean, something
It's all
happens here.
connected, man.
It's all connected, dude. I
You
don't
just
know
need
what
to
it is. The
throw out your hair
JFK
like the
files
alien
are on
guy.
X marks the spot. That's what's there.
Uh-huh. You ready to mosey on to part two?
Absolutely. Let's do that.
So, for part two of today's episode, we're going to be going through the lake trigram gates in human design. So, the 8 gates that the Godheads of Vishnu and the Keepers of the Wheel represent, we're going to deep dive into the 8 gates that we're now going to be walking through these next few weeks.
Love it.
Yeah.
The,
And here,
you're going to start that up, right? I don't have anything to say yet, basically.
yeah. I was going to say that if we look over here towards this moving little GIF here, this little graphic, these are the changing lines of the lake trigram. So if you notice, the bottom 3 lines remain the same, and the top 3 lines are dancing through. And those are the hexagrams that we're going to be going through with the lake trigram as the foundation.
Love that.
Absolutely. And if you would like to book a reading with either Danny or myself, check out the QR code above, or I got the link down in the description box below. And you can use code AWAKEN for 10% off. So if you want to do a human design reading with either of us, you can save a little bit. We can talk about your chart, help you understand yourself a little bit better. And if you've been getting a lot out of our episodes, you've been learning a whole lot, and you want to encourage us and support us, check out the QR code above here, link down in the description box below. And thank you very much. And thank you to everyone who's liking, subscribing, commenting, hanging out with us, asking us questions. We love having you. And let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
Starting off, we have the lake trigram as a foundation. So, lake is abundant energy teeming with life. This is the impulse to communicate, share, and exchange. And this is the share enjoyment of fully participating in life, expressing yourself, hearing others, and satisfying desires. And so, lake you can think of as like the koi pond, like the beautiful koi pond with all the beautiful fishies and all like the lotus flowers and like a little fountain, a little waterfall. It's that. And within the I Ching trigrams, all 8 of them have like a role in the family. So Lake is the youngest daughter. And you can indicate that because if you look at the trigram, you look for the one that's different. So here we have the top one, which is the feminine broken line. The top line is the youngest. So that's where you have the youngest daughter. So you can think of the youngest daughter, this impulse to communicate, share, and exchange, this exciting of life, like a little girl running around all happy.
And it's the line that's different. That helps me understand it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on the lake trigram?
Well, I'm waiting to put the lake trigram. I'm devoid of much stuff until I get back to a hexagram. So I'm like limited here because this is outside of my scope. I learned the mechanics. I didn't even know how to fully spell astrology necessarily until I really got into it really far. I just lucked into this, but no, not yet.
Cool. Let's dive right into the gates. So, starting off with gate 10, this is treading and the gate of the behavior of the self. The trigrams are heaven over lake. The depths of the sky are reflected in the lake as it dances below heaven. It's natural for people to aspire as it is for the lake to reflect by marking out the difference between above and below. There is a direction to travel and a distance to cross. Differentiate the ideal you aspire to from your step by step progress as you follow it.
Yeah, this whole thing speaks to exactly what gate 10 is supposed to do. Take that step-by-step process, which is how you treat yourself, moment to moment, because that's what moves you through to each various thing. I'm not sure what to make out of heaven over lake per se, other than the glories of what was supposed to be love upon us is abundantly showered into a holding pond that's designed to hold that for us. So, how'd I do? Is that anything like
That's
what
pretty
that is?
cool. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, lake, again, it's that abundance energy, it's that excitement. So that's our foundation. And then heaven is like the spark of the divine, the super creative force of all that comes down to like inspire us. So this, I don't- it feels like a very happy energy, and like the idea of like gate 10 as correct behavior. So it's like this foundation of abundance and exuberance and just so much. And then this spark of heaven above. And you could just imagine like a beautiful lake on a sunny day. It's like the most perfect place. So, in the ideal expression of gate 10, I mean, it's as perfect as the most perfect, bright, sunny summer day.
Well, and the difference between above and below would also see all the similarities too. But it's like I was mentioning before, the above and below aspect of it all, that it's the Biverse itself seems to be acting out the behavior that we also do down here relative to us. So relative to it, these two things are like put together. You know what? Lake on earth, heaven in the sky, the cosmos above, and the behavior on earth, same thing. So this sort of mirrors exactly that.
Perfect. Ready to
Mhm.
mosey?
Yeah, well, how are we tying this into the folklore of Vishnu? Or we wait until we go through all four and try and
That is your desire if you so wish to do it. Do you want to tie it into the folklore of
how
Vishnu?
did I do it before? Do I do it now or do I do it
I
after
don't
we've
know.
gone
You
through
do
all
whatever
four?
comes up. Let your sacral be your guide, Danny.
I'm just wondering what I did in the past. I'm looking for a new clue. I got a little stuck point.
Are you trying to be strategic?
No, I'm asking to unstuck in case you got anything.
I got nothing. I'm just excited to be here.
Yeah, me too. No, let's move on. We'll put all the gates together and come up with a picture for Vishnu. And Vishnu is a dude, right?
Vishnu is a dude.
Okay, thank you.
So next up, we
What?
have gate.
Is that somehow
Next up,
predictable or something? What?
it's just amusing.
Okay.
Next, next up, we have gate 58, which is the joyous and the gate of aliveness. This is lake over lake. So this is like abundance over abundance, superabundance. Two joined lakes open to one another. They flow together freely and enrich one another. The same is true of friends who join together to discuss and share their understanding. The exchange of ideas and pooling of insights makes everyone richer.
Mm. Well, I almost got trapped at just lake over lake because when you come down to earth, it says joyousness is to potentially be alive. We realize in a difficult, struggling world that this can work against us in the not self of the being. I understand that. But in its highest expression, everyone who wakes up to their nine-centered form, at least you realize that and you see the simple things, at least like type and some of your definition and stuff, you get to start experiencing joy and aliveness. This is in the world. We're supposed to have this. And lake over lake just says, fill it up. It's as if it's speaking for the spirit over in 55 or the feeling clung to in gate 30. Um, even though that's none of those are its mirror, but I'm just saying it seems wide and expansively, like covers a lot of ground, the joyous. I can add the joyous into everything, the experience. I can add the joyous into an integration activity, technically, just as a product of it. So I like Lake over Lake as it puts those two together. And it's so funny. So same as, true of friends who join in together. So it's already talking about, I guess, the fact that it's lake over lake already speaks to its dual nature because this is collective business. This stuff here is so wants to throw you together inside the experiment that clearly looks like it's going the right way. That is just, come on, let's do this. This is the definition of trying to gather up as much as you can as far as energy to share in this joyous. So this is like Sunday sermon, as long as it's joyous. I mean, if you're eight like I was when I had to go, I could use a different word, but um,
I think it's also really quite fun because 58 is when it's Christmas time. So you flow
oh yeah,
together
that's right.
freely, enrich one another. The same is true of friends who join together to discuss and share their understanding. And like Christmas is all about coming together. It's cold, it's dark, light it up, share what we have, share presents, share food, have a good time, come together in that way. So that feels really appropriate.
Moni, in the weeds, I missed the bigger point. Thank you. Totally, totally. So this is Christmas, the time of giving. The
Yeah.
joy is in that too.
Yeah. The exchange of ideas and pooling of insights makes everyone richer. Like that's really quite the ideal of Christmas.
Yeah, well, and the logic process leads to the understanding. And of course, at Christmas, all the left arrows and the right arrows are going to mix it up. They'll be pulling and giving and drawing and seeing all over the place if they allow it.
Mhm. Feel good?
Feel good.
Ready to mosey?
Ready.
So next up, we have gate 38, which is opposition and the gate of the fire, the gate of the fighter, and the trigrams are fire over lake. The elements of this situation, fire and water, you can't blend them together into a compromise, but kept safely apart, they create harmony. The sun sparkles on the lake. The light of awareness shines on the inner currents of emotion. Live with the opposition simply by understanding what harmonizes and what is to be held apart.
This whole hold it apart thing, well, just first, the opposition and the fighter is the fire. And to me, in this case, the lake is that the abundance that the fire might warm up if it meets its purpose in gate 28. It's important. You can't talk about 38 without recognizing 28. 28 is one of these prime drivers inside of humanity. It's part of the master keynote for humanity. And so, as an opposition and a fighter, that does bring the fire. But in this case, it's not fire that just gets put out in a lake and is all stingy and smells crappy. This is the fire that went in on purpose and warmed it up to just the right amount for whatever that purpose was. And funny, I use the word purpose because that's what its purpose is, to fight for the right purpose and the making of meaning. It's just it doesn't fully know what to fight for. But when the joy comes along, that starts to fill the cup of what to fight for. This is a great spot to do, um, your New Year's resolutions over the weeks that hold up these days in gate 38 and in gate 58 and in even gate starting at gate 10, but really gate 38, 58, what is it, 60 and 61. These would be good gates to literally just each week contemplate these things. And this one is contemplate what was worth fighting for last year. While this energy is in the sky, contemplate what was worth fighting for. And if you want to have a hot tub over all that and do it in a relaxed way, don't worry because fire is going to come into lake and heat it up just right. It's there for purpose. It's not there to just be extinguished. It warms the lake and provides during the cold of summer for the life to still teem within and be abundant. This fight and this fire provides abundance. And that's what fire over lake means to me in this slide.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned the like the New Year's resolution thing. We will be releasing a video on that again this year of why the human design New Year is different than your standard New Year and why basically it's a good idea to hold off on those resolutions for about 3 weeks. So there's
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah. The onesies don't work anymore, guys. That's the old way. That must be an old seven-centered hangover we just didn't even think about.
yeah.
Of course, we're going to have a more sophisticated version of a New Year's resolution taking like, 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. And so we'll do that video, so keep an eye out for that one. But basically, hold off on your New Year's resolutions to like the third week of January. And while New Year's is coming around, because gate 38 is in the sky when it is New Year's, which is actually part of why I feel like New Year's Eve as a holiday is one that has like so much like it has to be perfect. It has to be perfect. We have to do the thing and be there at midnight and kiss and do the, and it always kind of gets weird and it's a little fighty and it's a little provocational. It's because the 38 and then the 39 are up in the sky in that. And so basically, like Danny's saying, is when it's New Year's Eve time, New Year's Day, like don't freak out about doing the resolution. Just start considering what was worth fighting
What was
for.
worth fighting for? Yep.
Yeah. And kind of just let that simmer. And then the resolution will kind of naturally come its way, but don't rush it because you'll kind of like blow your load if you do
Right.
it around the
Right.
first of the year instead of later
And
on.
the very next gate that comes along is lets us know, the next thing that to contemplate. So you contemplate about what was worth fighting for and just what was the struggle, what was the deal. And then the next gate has you do another little piece of that. And by the time 4 gates have gone by, you got an actual resolution that doesn't even have to be proven. It's just something now that'll sit inside of you instead of a whim. I'm going to lose 10 pounds or something like that, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to be bitter this year.
A whole new me. So keep an eye out. We'll do an actual longer video specifically on that in the next couple of weeks. So you ready, Mosey?
Mosey.
So next up, we have gate 54, which is the marrying maiden, and the gate of ambition. The trigrams are thunder over lake. Lake is stirred and awoken by thunder, vibrations traveling deep through the water. Inwardly as fluid as the lake, always open and responsive. So the shock of the new quickens her heart to new awareness, and she senses the currents of change.
Yeah, oh, she's sensing all right. She's sensing how to rise up. This ambition in the New Year's Eve process, I mean, New Year's Eve, that's so funny. The resolution process would be 6.5 days of contemplating, what do I rise into now? What is there something? Does something come clear? And this thunder over the lake, just you know what? As soon as you're wondering, does something come clear? Take this thunder over lake image and pretend it's like a little martini stir, and the thunder stirs up the lake and brings up its riches and allows it to remain fertile and sort of mixed up. This is the stirring pot, and the marrying maiden, a part of this channel of transformation, right? That's a design of being driven into a tribal process, believe it or not, but driven by the root pressure to basically make one position better. And it's very often material. I mean, it very much is material. So, like at your work, at your job, at your thing you're doing, it's driven to, build the house. It's driven to the things that are in the material, along with the mystical stuff, because the tribe has its mystical component, but the drive itself is it's to stir it up. It has to move things around. It has to become energetic in order to suddenly release that energy in a process of rising. And then when it rises, it can regather its strength and turn off the adrenals, stop the adrenal fatigue. You know what I mean? But each time it does that, it's creating a pressure zone that helps it push up. Sort of like the opposite of when Willy Wonka and Grandpa were burping to get down. But yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, it is a good analogy. I love a good analogy. Yeah, these trigrams, you can also think of it as like shock over abundance.
Oh, look
So
at
this,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
if you like break it down kind of simpler and like less, esoteric than like thunder over lake, it's shock over abundance. The foundation is abundance, and then like you said, it's that shock, that thunder, that coming
that
on in
stirs
to
things
stir
up.
it all up,
Yep.
and that rising up of ambition.
Yep, the rising up of the ambition from the stirring process of the maiden herself. The maiden's so powerful, the maiden is powerful. And the story of the marrying maiden itself is what she rose up to be the empress, right?
The marrying maidens, it was saying the story is like old-timey, like emperors of China, where it wasn't the wife, it was like the like the cousins and the sisters of the wives who like were coming in to help the new wife, but like they're just kind of, second class servants in a way.
Second
Like
fiddle, yeah.
yeah, they
Yep.
don't have like the full like they want the ambition of being like the empress or whatever, but they're not there yet. So it's like that, hey, right here, you right now you're here and like do what you got to do, but that ambition to rise up within the tribe is kind of
And
the
in the
vibe of it.
maiden, that ambition is starry-eyed and it's got a fixed gaze on that second level up there where the important people are, and it's going for it. It wants to go for it. It
Hmm.
just wants it. It needs it. It's got an instinct for it. It's another word for that side of the stream. Anyway,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, and this is like the week after New Year's. So it's like think of that where it's like New Year's is like what was worth fighting for last year, and now it's like what is the ambition rising within? And so it's like if you're already trying to force yourself to do something that you're not ready for, it's like let that ambition rise.
And what is that? Now that you've contemplated what was worth fighting for, and all of that, what is it? Because this ambition will be like, I don't want to fight for that anymore because you've already contemplated it. And I say that's a good idea. That this gets you to, so much better than I swear to God, I'm going to be better this year or something like that. It's this good stuff.
Yeah, it's far deeper than your surface level of like your typical like New Year's resolution stuff.
Agreed.
So next up, we have gate 61, which is inner truth and the gate of mystery. These trigrams are wind over lake. Wind reaches and influences everywhere, always bringing new messages of change. The open surface of the lake, stirred by the wind, is constantly in motion. Lake doesn't set hard into a final shape. Slow to take irreversible decisions, stay fluid and open, allowing yourself to be moved by changing circumstances and new perspectives.
Lake doesn't set hard into final shapes. What a statement that is. So Before we had the thunder, which stirred things up and naturally brought material up to the surface. It was a rising up process. This, you can't call that at all. This is that which came up to the surface now is a mystery. And this is the mystery part of the New Year's resolution, where you're taking 6.5 days to go through the lines as they pass in our sun, and realize some of this stuff is still a mystery. And what are the mysteries? And find out what is worth knowing and what pressures aren't yours anymore. Because the maiden can't be bothered, and we already checked out the struggle. So, some stuff you got to throw out. And this whole wind over says it's still a mystery. Keep looking at it. Things will come clear in this time, especially if you do the contemplations we're referring to here. And ultimately, that wispy wind that you can't quite tell what it is, the fact that the lake never really gets to hard settle into place is part of the mystery. There's a flux zone here. Let it be. Out of this will come a lot of cool things, because the pressure here is to translate your existence. This is actually doing quality work for you, even if you feel confused and irrational and doubting and all the things that can come out of the head center, all these pressures. It doesn't matter. Let this one flow through and recognize it as a pressure. This very much is a mental pressure, and it's going to want to literally say, like the wind over the lake that reaches and influences everything, so won't this inspiration that comes from the quantum field. It comes because I am me. It comes from, I don't know where, from the other guy who said something. It comes, right? When it comes, Moni, you got an open head. You know that.
Yeah, it's
When,
always moving and flowing, and you can't hang on to it. It's like trying to grasp sand in your hands. It's just gonna flow through.
when does it not come? Like when you're sleeping and stuff?
No,
I
it's
mean,
just even then. I'll wake up in the middle of the night and there's stuff shooting around in there.
well, that's the thing, man. We're in a consciousness program. That's not an accident. You know what I mean? That's not, yeah. So, anyways, you take this inner truth, and I just like the way it rolls out, and I love the hexagram. The inner truth is in the center. The truth is in
Oh,
the meat.
oh,
The,
wow. That's a really cool observation with the hexagram here in this opening in the center.
yep, yep. Stays fluid. The truth we don't know. We're in a mystery zone. This is in the individual definition, so it's in the pulse. We can't tell. We have to await. It's mutative. What will this thing be? All I know is, as the maiden rises up after having been through the struggle, right, and seen it, that the inner truth starts to take shape. You don't need it to be true beforehand. You need to live out the process. This 6.5 days. Please open your book and go line by line. I'm here this day because you want to find out the difference between occult knowledge and then the second line, which is something about just innate natural genius that doesn't even know why it knows. It's
Natural brilliance.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, huh? I knew that. I didn't know I knew that, or whatever. And it sounds ridiculous, but it is an innate thing that shows up. So, anyways, that's what's going on up there. That's a lot of activity. And so that's coming through in wisps and winds and lakes that are abundant, that have just been stirred, but they don't really, and they never quite really settle, because something is moving gently across it. And its move and its march is persistent. It sloweth not, it moves forward, it keeps the motion going. And just like what makes the wind blow in the first place, pressure. There's a pressure zone, high pressure here, low pressure there. The wind blows, and it's a rare day that there be zero wind. So, especially on the lake always has a breeze, if you think about it.
I live by Lake Michigan. Yeah, lake effect is a thing.
It's just a thing. And so, wind over lake works for me. And the inner truth, this gate of mystery, is part of the thinker. It's a unique, it's individual, and it's not here for you to know it in advance. It's for you to experience it in the now.
Mm.
So please don't try to figure it out in advance. Be excited that it approacheth. This is part of what approaches 13, by the way. I figured out some stuff for you, 13. In fact, I give you this whole process gives 13 plenty to say. That's probably the burning of the light so bright. We got to fill up them coal-fired engines in this diesel locomotive, to make it cross country. And that's gate 13. It starts that process out. Yeah, I like that. This whole process is loading up them steam-fired engines, you know? Do you remember the pictures? The guys, they had to shovel. Those guys were not, they didn't have much time off. They were shoveling,
I was thinking the scene from Titanic when they're in the boiler room and the men are like
just
shoveling the
shoveling.
coal,
Yep.
yeah, and the heat and the cold and the heat and the dirt.
Mm, dirty jobs. But it worked. It did the thing.
Yeah,
So
schmosy.
a lot here. Let's mosey.
Next up, we have gate 60, which is limitation and the gate of acceptance. The trigrams are water over lake. Streams flow into the lake and out from it, but how much water can the lake hold? How many channels can we dig leading out before there's insufficient water to reach our fields? Work out these limits to capacity and flow by discovering what works in practice. Reflect and deepen like streams flow out. Reveal a character's depth and resource through action.
Yeah. Think not what one should do. Find out through the experience the customs that you must hang on to, because the acceptance part says, I have to accept what I don't have in order to actually transcend that I don't have it. It shows that we're creative, mutative beings, and in the acceptance, it's basically the assumptions of God Himself and the heavens and the forces that love it when humanity succeeds. The assumption is that as soon as they can just accept the limitation, they'll find a way right around it. They will transcend that it even existed in the first place. And they'll tell stories later about how it ended up being better that they had to do it the next way, because that's what humans do. And we're supposed to do that because we're grand, great creatures and we love to see ourselves and move and all of that. And it'll end up in the stories, and we should do that. This is part of our beautiful way. So the water that just keeps getting drained off of the lake creates the limitation. Its lack of acceptance does it avoids it altogether. Yeah, work out those limits before you mess it all up, basically.
Yeah, I love the analogy of it is like how much water can the lake hold? How much can you dig little channels leading out from it before you dry out the lake? Which, it's a good analogy and a metaphor, but also like legitimately like that happens in life where like they overtake from lakes and stuff and there's no longer lakes and there's no longer towns that existed that used to be like bustling little towns and villages and stuff. And
Yeah,
so yeah, learning what those limits are to flow and capacity for yourself for what you're doing and see what works in practice. Like we can all have these like really beautiful utopian ideas and those are really great until they don't work in the real
right,
world. So make
right.
sure that even if you're like aiming at something amazing and better and what could be, make sure that your feet are still planted on the ground so you know what limitations actually exist and like reality is reality. Like you can ignore reality, but you can't ignore the effects of ignoring reality. So make sure you have your feet on the ground and you can see what works and what doesn't so you can work within the material reality that we live in.
Yeah, flow out, reveal the character's depth and resource. So acceptance is the only way. I love this process because what it's saying is through the unique individual mutative way, and this is, by the way, it's called the old way because gate 3 is the new way inside this format channel, which is formats everything else in the body graph, whether you have it or not. Um,
Mm.
and it says, here's how you smash limitations, and here's how you smash the inadvertent building of expectations that the not self would like to think are real, are important, are need to be, freaked out over. Right? So this is like we're going to check your expectations. We're going to curb that expectation for you. Give a little haircut, right? Chop it down a few pegs. You're not supposed to have them. If you want to have expectations, have the crap out of them really good. Just don't expect that they're going to work out.
Don't expect your expectations to be reality.
Right, per se. Just be totally okay when they don't, or they more for they're a little different, or they work out one quarter or half only, or whatever. Or
Yeah.
they go the other direction and they sort of ruin something else too. Just, you know,
Play in daydream land, but don't expect your daydreams to be reality.
and even take actions towards it. Even if people are saying, dude, don't you know that's not gonna do, you're gonna regret this, you're gonna feel bad that you couldn't make the thing you want. Don't listen to any of it. Charge into it if that's what your form is telling you to do. We're in a life. Um, so please, because you'll find out, oh, when I'm charging into something, I'm in the now, and I find my acceptance of things goes way up because I have to stay now and keep moving. So I naturally go around things. Movement, water, lake, abundance, acceptance equals abundance, and the lack of expectations hurting you. Have your expectations. This week, oh, dude, this is going to work out so good. Oh, it totally didn't work out. That's okay. I had so much fun thinking it would work out so good, and I did some stuff. And put it to you this way: this is the gate that tells us more than any other gate that I can think of right now. Moni, actually, a challenge. Maybe you can think of another one that fits this description. This one tells us as much as any that to accept the limitation is this first step in the fact that we don't want to have to care about it anyway. We just don't want to have to get into it. We don't want to literally consider this starts the shattering process. This shatters the limitation and allows the being to literally
You
acceptance is the key to transcendence. That's all.
yeah, you have to understand your limitations before you can move beyond them.
Mm.
You
I
know,
didn't
like
quite get out my whole thought. I missed a piece and I can't remember what it is now.
it was good. I think it came out right. But yeah, it's like understand where your limitations are and then you can work with them. Like don't think that you're going to be, the best surfer in the world if you don't know how to swim yet. You can become the best surfer in the world, but you probably should accept the limitation that you don't yet know how to swim and you should learn how to swim before you go, into the deep end of the ocean.
Absolutely. But dream and fantasize. This whole thing is loaded with all kinds of crazy cool energy to fill that abundant cup before we start over.
And then, yeah, bringing it into that like New Year's idea, excuse me, recognizing those limitations so you can move beyond.
Yeah, right. And this would be the 6.5 days after we've just seen the mystery. And by the way, the mystery is a fun zone. And it's preceding this one because it's designed to slide you into the acceptance. The mystery helps with the acceptance. The mystery's in the now, it's on the move. This is sort of stuck and it needs a jolt. So it gets one from 61, starting with occult knowledge. So I think they go together. This is the spot in the year with to basically what do you need to accept? What are certain limitations you need to honor? How should I just sort of look at all of this? Let's get real here. Let's get real here. So it's a great time to contemplate some of that, but don't let it stop the mystery. Don't let it break the joy. If what's real here is not quite in line with what you're about to do, ride the fence on that a little bit. Don't just give up. Don't go headlong in. This is a protective area as well. Yeah,
Mosey.
Mosey.
So next up, we have gate 41, which is decrease and the gate of contraction. The trigrams are mountain over lake. A noble one gives things up, not without anger and desires, just kept under control. Solid is the mountain that contains the lake and limits the flow of its waters. Without the evaporating waters, the mountainside would be barren. Without the mountain, water would dissipate and be lost. Together, they create a complete landscape. Emotions sustaining growth and higher experience, and control deepening your emotional capacity.
It is so good because this decrease, when you look at it under this language, and it does make sense, this is basically what they're trying to say. The decrease in the contraction is less is needed because more is already abundant. We don't need to have the new experience. We're on planet Earth. We've already got a lot of experiences. We've got a lot of irons in the fire, humanity, as it relates to our experiences and our craziness and the stuff we love to try out and the stuff we love to share, because this is the start codon for the process of being alive. And as such, 41 starts the experiencing process of even the life itself, and it moves into the clinging fire and then through the crisis on to 35, which is creates the expectation almost in the first place. But 41 is the beginning of the creation of that, and it says I don't need to do much. I'm already abundant. Lake's already here, walls already containing it, and the walls stay there because as the water evaporates it keeps the trees there, and the trees are what keeps the mountain there, and so we just are self-sustaining. Just need a little rain once in a while, and every place gets their rain and their condensation. So this says I have contracted into this. Now, if you want to do something with this, the noble one only gives up the things, but not without, well, it says, but not, why not without anger and desire just to keep under control? Yeah, that's how he doesn't do it. It's just, it's not anger and there is desire in here, but it's not just to keep under control. It's to literally let out whatever is going to lead to some form of abundance, the abundance of the feeling that clings. The feeling's wicked important. So mountain over lake, if that's what it means to contain the lake in the mountain's walls so that neither one perish, is like this ultimate working together, what 41 needs to do with others, and it need not release its resources until it needs to. It's decrease, it is contraction. But when it does release its resource, it's like magic. It starts the experience. I'm self-contained. I'm abundant with the capacity to release a feeling to you, gate 30, but I don't have to release them very much. I'm already self-contained. Well, I'll give you another one. I got plenty. I'm abundant. You need another? Here. But I don't really need to do it anymore. I'm already abundant here. I'm pretty good. So this releases the feelings as it and the desire to start that process as needed. It's already abundant. That's what this is saying. I think that's what this is saying.
I mean, I like it. I like the idea of abundance as the foundation, and then mountain is about like stillness. It's like, hey, a lot's going on and everything is shifting. I'm gonna go up to the mountain, I'm gonna hang out, I'm gonna be still, I'm just gonna like chill out and allow that all to process so you don't make rash decisions within this changing, shifting time.
Mm, yeah. A lot happens here. Desire, hunger. It's only one step away from gate 53 and 42, that process of maturation, which is a format energy, and it desires and it hungers to get things started. 41 is always hearing that noise. Get it started, get it started, get it started. So when it finally does, it's already got that energy in there. It's carried with it. It's like the little announcement that 31 is like, yeah, I got sort of a feeling. What's that you got? You got something? You got something? You got something? And yeah, it's like I got something. It's all covered with 53 dust and it's coming out right here, squeezed out just for you. So now you got energy for your feeling. A lot of it, by the way. That's why this thing is so magnificently manifesting into form as our human abstract experiential way that tells great stories and lots of other things it does great too.
Yeah, and this is also like 41. When we hit gate 41 on the wheel with the sun in gate 41, that's when we actually hit like human design new year. And this is the start codon. So I like this idea of this emotional abundance, right? This lake abundance as the foundation that's part of an emotional process. And the mountain that says, cool, yeah, we have all this abundance. Let's take it chill and release that, like that one at a time, that contraction that's going to release one thing, one abundant thing at a time to connect with that
Mm,
emotional wave.
hmm. Yeah, and that thing can be pretty big. It does hunger. It can look at something and grow a desire in a second. I mean, the hunger starts here, and the desire for the new taste, the feeling, the experience, whatever it is. So Mountain over Lake keeps it all. It's an odd way to put two things together, but it does fit.
Yeah.
We can fit it. I already got it. I got everything you need. Trust me, I'm covered in 53 juice. I'm covered in 42 for that matter. I'm loaded down here and I got the energy. I'm pointing right at you. I got it. Don't worry. It's fine. There's plenty down here. You ready? Okay, here you go.
And
It's
this is
that.
the time to start your New Year's resolution.
That's right. That is right. And start watching it. And this is where the contemplations, really, we've done the main ones that come up to this point. And at this point, you get to start to watch. How does it feel? What do you hunger for? What are the things that maybe you want to experience? Is anything here supposed to be shared? With whom shall I share? All of these questions get to come up here, and they're going to get answered quite drastically in the next gate, which is the
Hmm.
way of this quarter in the first place. So Vishnu starts it and receives the piece of this quarter that has the way in it. Vishnu starts it, the keeper of the wheel ends with the way of the quarter. That's a lot. Again, it just upped the mysticism game even another level now that I think of it.
Mosey.
Mosey.
And now we have gate 19, which is approach, and the gate of wanting. The trigrams are earth over lake. A noble one has the inner reflective depths of the lake, contained within the protective, accepting qualities of earth, with endless capacity to reflect, interact, and explain, to shelter and nurture people as a parent protects a child, with strength and security, naturally becoming responsible.
Mm, mm. So help me with earth over lake, because I always think of earth as abundance, but earth is what?
Earth is like pure that fertility. It's that pure magnetic energy that it's receptive and receiving, but then also like giving because it's the earth. So it's the pure yin receptive magnetic that mother energy.
So the growth over the abundance, the growth of abundance is what this represents. And it's like in a
An
nursery
aspect, yeah,
rhyme
for sure.
terms. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, one depths in the lakes contained within the perspective. So accepting the qualities of earth is going to be wicked important here. So this approach thing, by the way, is accepting of almost everything. Its wanting is wicked powerful. It's in the stream of emotional stream of need that moves from 19 up to 40 through, 19, 49, 37, and 40. It's emotional. It is an emotional process. Gate 19 says abundance plus abundance. That's what I bring. I'm supposed to bring it, and I'll do my best to continue bringing it. And it brings the capacity to even get married. It's that abundant, potentially. And it is the type of approach that says, I want to be part of something. And if it were the approach of one person to another who were taking a nap, it would be, hey, get up. Uh, get up. Come on. It's time to go. That would be an example of approach because it's trying to gather the force of the other in some tribal way that they support each other and bring resources. Yeah, I got it. I got it. The car's full of gas. Keys are in. It's running. It's all warmed up. We're ready. I pack lunch. Resources. I brought resources in order to create further tribal bond. I'm wanting. And in order to just literally be part of these qualities of earth, which is abundant, what it wants is it wants the rest of the abundance. It wants the rest of this growth because although Earth over Lake says it's this, the full cultivation of that through to harvest is the rest of the stream. I mean, technically, 40 is the harvester running the harvesting machine in a way, with the actual abundance hitting the table so you can eat it in that example. This is the beginning of that growth, if you think of it, but it starts out the foundation of it. It's the foundation also of the mystical process I keep referring to, or I've referred to a couple times through, that goes all the way up through gate 10 and 20, starts here in gate 19. And in that way, this channel can act almost as a format energy for this process. It totally sets the stage for I have the energy to approach. My mystical being approaches you, hoping for acceptance. My material being approaches you, hoping for and wanting acceptance. And runs into 49 that says, okay, I see that. And I am the arbiter of the acceptance or the rejection. This is because if it totally rejects, the cosmic nature of the relationship stops or it waits. It's put at bay. And if it's accepted, you're now in the tribe and everything changes. So 19 is even approaching the steadiness and the sturdiness of like the marriage bond. 19 is approaching. And I mean, 19 always has food in its refrigerator. It's always got, it tries to hang on to resources. So Earth over Lake. I mean, this the lakes just feels like it's going to be more earth to be stirred up by the thunder from a few hexagrams back. That's what it feels like because all that stuff's going to still need to rise up and come to the surface. But it says approach is also the way because this is part of the cross of the four ways. And that means 19 is the way of the quarter of mutation. Gate 1 starts the quarter of mutation, and 19 becomes a descriptor as to the way of that. And the way of that is get it together, burn bright, you're mutative, you're unique. And as this thing is rolling, as the torch is brightest, that's when 19 is aware to approach. It's not going to approach when its torches are dim and its oil's all run out. That's not when it approaches and flirts with 19. It does so with a full cup. It's a dowry system. 19 is the dowry system, the start
Hmm.
of that.
Hmm.
Totally, now that I think of it. Ross said that. I remember him saying
Yeah,
that. This
no, it
is
is.
that. Yep.
Yeah, because it's like the interaction of the beginning of like it's like the handshake of like, hey, I want to join your tribe. And yeah, like just the reality of if you have a daughter and like now you're gonna have like, she's gonna have a husband who's gonna have to take care of her. It's like what she's bringing into the marriage to help prepare her for the marriage. Like that's the dowry. It's like this is what I'm bringing to this, and this is what you're bringing.
Indeed.
Hmm.
Absolutely, indeed. And that bringing is both mystical because the wanting is part of our consciousness program. Anything can take place, you know, and the needing, the need part, that is the tribal aspect of it, is the practical thing. So I have to approach with stuff. Either way, I'm approaching with our mystical and our transformational, hopefully to transform, because we just went past the maiden, the products and the materials and the consciousness that's going to help transform at our brightest into gate 13, which starts the wheel all over again. 19 does not burn dim. It doesn't want to, that's for dang sure. It wants to burn bright, it wants to burn double bright. Look what I got. I got two, not just one. Nice and bright, warm, it's warm, extra. That's it wants to exude extra-ness. And that is a great way to start off the keeper of the wheel of the collective truth and memory in gate 13, right?
Yeah.
Running bright. So I feel good.
Yeah. So that was the continuation of our trigrams in human design. That was the lake trigram. We went over the godheads of Vishnu and the keeper of the wheel. I was going to say the keeper of the keys, the keepers of the wheel. And so yeah, it was another good deep dive in this like I Ching aspect of human design that I feel like doesn't really get a lot of play. It's so foundationally the base of human design and so much brilliance, but I don't think a lot of people are talking about it. So I really enjoy that we get to kind of explore that together.
Yeah, and for me, it is this spot where because I'm flowing with it brand new, because when Moni brought this on, I didn't really understand the aspects, but what happens is to apply the mechanics fresh is a total fresh look at things. And I keep noticing there's a lot here. There's a lot here. How long did he spend on that whole Godhead series? He's got like 20 hours to make that thing come to life or something. It's a long thing.
Yeah. I mean, at least an hour on each godhead. So there's 16 hours right there.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah,
20 would not be a far fetch.
right. So this whole process of a mutative process that starts at gate 10, by definition is mutative. It's in that centering circuit, and it's to mutate the whole process as to love yourself before we step into this hibernative structure that wakes up again at gate 13. It's like go to sleep with some love in your heart and wake up with the fire to approach. That's what this is saying. I mean, ish, and all the gate steps in between. Remember, find the dates exactly so you can start your New Year's resolution process. And I would start in gate 58, even though it's not part of the whole thing necessarily, but um, just because, right? Just because. Find that date and start reading through the lines. And with 58, it would just be, what brings joy? What are you excited about right now? Anything? What is that? Let it sit for a while. Then you move into the struggle and the fight and everything else. Yeah. I'm glad we went through that. We technically sort of at least gave the bare bones. If we don't get to an episode, we gave the bare bones of how to do this New Year's process through all
Oh,
of this, didn't we?
we'll do the New Year's episode. We're totally just gonna record that on our own and post it because I have a lot of fun with it.
Oh, okay, cool. But we
Yeah,
did do
like
bare bones here. We hit bare
yeah,
bones
yeah.
here.
Oh no, I
Sure.
think
Yeah.
we did more than bare bones here
More than,
talking about
right.
New Year's. But yeah, we'll be also doing a whole New Year's breakdown that we'll post as a standalone video, and we'll break down, I'll edit through this episode and repost it into smaller sections so anyone can rewatch because I know it's a lot to process here. So yeah, you have like a
My
whole
own,
library of resources on our page.
my only advice for this time as this steps in, and it's right around the corner, guys. I mean, we're right there, is to contemplate. This is a deeply contemplative time. I'm not going to say anything for any one gate, like when we read just a transit. It's just about this whole time. It's asking you to stop, slow down, um, do one of the things that 58 is so joyful of. It's joyful when it can sit still, like in gate 52. Its format, talking to it as much as 53 talks to 41, frankly, and it sits still, contemplate. Doesn't mean stop forever the whole time, just means take more time than you normally would to slow down the but I gotta, and turn into what is this all about? What's the deal? What's the thing? And allow yourself to contemplate and get out of the but I gotta busy zone. I mean, let's face it, many of these gates are in the root. That's the thing. So there's pressure in this zone. Lots of stuff is in this zone in order to prepare the body for its movement and passage through to where it wakes up on the other side in 13, remembering everything and becomes the big keeper of truth. From the keeper of the wheel, transformed through the active approach, that all things are interrelated and something is apparent through the active and made manifest through the active approach. So contemplate.
Absolutely. It's super exciting. We have someone in the chat who's an ego projector. I'm like, you're an ego projector like me. Yay.
Awesome. Say,
I get excited. We're rare.
is there a question?
No, she said she's new to human design. She loves
Oh,
our
no
videos.
way.
Very important. Yeah,
Well,
Lady Saturn.
I knew love you go. Wow. Oh, Lady Saturn, thank you. Love you too. What bright, shiny smile. Love that. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll speak a little slow for the next minute, and if something comes through and you have a question before we're totally done, I'll hop right on in.
There you go. Yeah, Lady Saturn. If you have a question, you got a Danny for a minute.
Yeah, yeah. What are your thoughts for the end of all this? What do you make, what do you think as it relates to?
I mean, I think it's a really interesting time. It's like winter can be so cold and annoying and like grumble, grumble, grumble. But there is kind of a beauty in the darkness coming a little earlier and you're not running around. Like in the summer, it's great. There's so much sunshine, but there's so much to do. And by the time you're done at the end of the day, it's midnight. And so there's a part of me that enjoys the darkness where I can like, let me read a book, let me study, let me do this, let me pick up a different hobby. I enjoy that hibernation time of winter. I enjoy, there is that cocoony aspect of it, but I always emerge from winter with like new skills and like new crafty things. Let me sew something, let me crochet something. Like I do enjoy that aspect of it. And just the idea of like this darkest time of the year. And then as we have like the winter solstice with gate 10, which is like correct behavior and empowerment of the self. And then you have Christmas with gate 58 and joy and coming together and that kind of abundance. I think that's really quite beautiful. And yeah, the whole New Year's process that always in like your standard pre-human design, like New Year's is it's fun, but it's crazy and it's a lot and it's stressful and you got to make it a thing. And if it's not perfect, it's meh. And it always gets weird and fighty and drunk and stupid driving things. And then to understand, like, oh yeah, don't do your New Year's resolution on January 1st. Wait like till January 21st, and how the gates actually line up with the sun to take us through this process of contemplation, like
Yeah, let the
who
sun lead
are
the
you?
way
Yeah,
is
who
really what
are
you're
you
doing.
with yeah,
Yeah.
who are you with gate 10 and coming together and sharing joy in your life, and then like 61 is like the inner knowing and the mystery and what are you still curious about, and 60 is the limitation, and 54 this ambition of like what's getting excited, what was worth fighting for with 38, and then the ambition like driving up in you of what do you want for the next year. And when you take it slowly and relieve yourself of that pressure of New Year's resolution on January 1st.
I'm
And
gonna
if you
hit double bonus all year long. Yeah, yeah, okay, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I could see it. I could see so much stress around people with like your typical January 1st New Year's resolution and allowing myself to be like, that's not my thing. I don't got to worry about it. And then I let it kind of ride out and go through the solar transits with it. And then you come around to like that third week of January and you're like, cool, now I'm ready to start something new. And now the energy is correct for it. And everyone who got all freaked out 3 weeks ago, they're already over it. Like they already kind of like missed that chance by like jumping the gun. So I just think it's really beautiful where so often the world can feel very chaotic. Especially as a,
Mm.
seven open-centered ego projector, the world can feel so chaotic and so much where it's like there's such potential for greatness, but there's so much confusion and, conditioning and not self and just people trying to survive and trying their best, but everyone's kind of just making a mess of it. And then to understand within human design, there actually is a contextual understanding of like, no, 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 this actually does make sense. It's not just chaos, and you can roll with it and you can work with it. There's just a sigh of relief and peace that I feel in that, and I really appreciate it.
Mm.
Oh, and we
Yeah.
have oh God, I was going to say we have a question from Lady Saturn.
Thank you, lady. I really appreciate that, by the way. Thank you. What is it?
So Lady Saturn says there's so much info. Any suggestions on where to start? She has one channel, the 2551, and she's pretty much all over the place, but I love what I've seen so far. So much resonates. Yay! Um, there is an ego projector video that we did. I think it's actually posting tomorrow from our authority series. So keep an eye out for that one. We'll be posting. Otherwise, I mean, I don't know which books you have, but Human Design Definitive Book is kind of your
Need
holy
that. You
grail.
need that, Lady Saturn. You definitely, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the spot to get on.
Yeah, that is your default research, like Encyclopedia Britannica that I always definitely go to. Yeah, otherwise, it's like, yeah, being an ego projector is weird. Most everybody is not like us and they don't really understand us and we're little oddballs, but learning to take care of yourself first because otherwise we will get lost in other people. So that's like super, super huge is taking care of your will and your resources and not getting lost in what everyone else wants from you.
And we publish our email, right? Moni, is that just available? The
Do
company
you,
email?
oh yeah, I mean, do you want to share your email or like our
Sure,
email?
yeah, yeah. Because I was just gonna say, if you would like to, shoot me a quick email with your phone number on it, I can at least give you a call to do some intake and just find out where might you be at, because it's hard to really answer on the show, without a little back and forth, and so far with where you want to be and what you already know.
Yeah,
And I'd be
Danny's
happy
really
to, yeah. Just well, it'll be free. I'll just be on the phone with you for 10 or 15 minutes and get a little, feeling of what is it that you really do need.
Oh, yay. That's really fun. Danny's great to talk to.
Yeah,
It's
thank you, Moni. I love to. I mean, I just want everyone to wake up.
yeah, it's just it feels nice when people get to start living correctly as themselves. It feels nice for you, for them, for everyone involved. She says she will email you and says thank
Oh, I
you.
love you. Thank you. Bam. Bam. Thank you. We rock. We rock. Yep.
Yay. Super, super fun. Any final thoughts?
No, no. Vishnu it up. Vishnu's kick ass.
Vishnu's
He
kick
kills it.
ass.
He kills it. And the keeper of the wheel, like that's all mystical stuff, dude. It's Vishnu and the keeper on the same chariot riding towards the right into where they need to go. I love it. Seems very mystical.
Absolutely. It was cute. Lady Saturn said an invitation. LOL.
Oh my God, I didn't even think of such a thing. That's so funny. It's true.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, and
Absolutely.
please do, because I want to. Because if you're here, then there's a trajectory that we're both on now. That the three of us are on.
Yay.
Pretty mystical all by itself.
Yeah, and Danny's great to talk to. Like it starts with 10 minutes and then it, turns into like hours long
Oh,
conversation. I talk to you more than anyone else, dude. It's
that's too
hilarious.
funny. Oh, thank you,
Yes.
Moni. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Danny. Next week, we have a fun episode next week. We're doing our talking to each type episode. So we will go through the different types in human design and how to best talk to them. Like, how do you best talk to a manifester? How do you best talk to a projector, a reflector, a generator, a mangen? And I think we're going to have a really fun conversation just going through type in that specific angle.
I love it. So the talking to types will get a little bit. We get to practice muscles we haven't practiced a ton lately. So we're going to be some of this will be practice. I hope some people join us. That would be great.
Yeah, it'll be
Ask
fun.
questions and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see who jumps in. So that'll be super, super good. And if you'd like to book a reading with either Danny or myself, If you'd like to book a reading with either Danny or myself, check out the QR code above me, or I have the link down in the description box below. And you can use code AWAKEN for 10% off, save a little bit, hang out with us, have some fun. And if you've been getting a lot out of our channel, you'd like to donate, help encourage us, and support us, check out that QR code, or the link is down in the description box below. And thank you very much. And as always, thank you, Danny. Thank you to everyone who is watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, asking us questions, hanging out with us. We love having you. We love talking about human design and sharing it and just getting deep and weird and interesting and sharing this beautiful system. So thanks for being here with us, and we will catch you next week for another show.
Yeah, a really interesting one next week. So we'll catch you then. Much love, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.